Hello, Mr. Silverman.
Hello, Parachute. How you guys doing? Psyched to have John in the house today, doing a little Q&A with the crowd.
There we go.
Bad boy around, and welcoming everybody on Parachute TV to a special spotlight with the great Ben Silverman here. Hey guys, welcome to Parachute TV. My name's John Ehrlichman, and we like to do spotlights with great, amazing people. Today we're lucky enough to have the great Ben Silverman with us. If you don't know Ben Silverman, where have you been hiding? He's one of the best-known TV producers in Hollywood, from shows like The Office, to Jane the Virgin, to Marco Polo now on Netflix, to Ugly Betty, The Tudors. Please fill in the rest of the
Bear
blanks.
Grylls. We have President Obama coming on Bear Grylls.
Oh my gosh, that was a coup. My goodness,
Huge coup. Casanova's up on Amazon right now with Diego Luna, directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Really fantastic.
Hello, Scorestar. Good to see you. Cameron Lloyd, thank you for being on our previous broadcast and for inviting your followers. Everybody, invite your followers. Come on, let's get a big crowd in here. We are going to be opening. Somebody's saying, I'm looking for a job. If you have questions about getting into the TV business, about getting scripts approved, about this whole crazy changing landscape, here is a guy who has worked as an agent at William Morris, as a TV executive at NBC, and as a successful producer of TV shows. He's used to saying no, and he has overcome that and done some of the biggest shows in television history and films, by the way, with Hands of Stone coming out.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Big one coming. Thanks for the hearts. They're flowing. We're going to keep those hearts out of Ben's face and do a little bit of this.
Love a heart in the face.
James saying, shout out from Beverly Hills. You live in Miami. He looks too young. Well, he is young looking, but he's
Duran, exactly. Yeah, the Roberto Duran's coming, Manos El Piedro.
Yes. Why don't we kick that off? You know, when you were...
I'm 45, just to clear it. You know, I may look young, but I'm 45 years old.
And yet... he's had success from a very young, early age. Terrible to say, but I never give attention to anyone.
You're right.
Show actors.
You're right to only focus on the actors. That's front. Much more important to me that you care about the actors and the TV show than what it took to make the show. So whoever that person was, thank you, fan.
Chicago Bears saying, can you please tell me no? So guys, for some of what's the best and worst part of TV producing? Listen, that's from Austin Nickel. He's a regular user of Periscope. We said this is open to all your questions, so Ben, go ahead.
Best part is getting impact through the show with the audience. Actually, anecdotally, connecting to, overhearing a conversation, seeing it touch the culture. Biggest Loser, hearing about or being in offices where people were doing their own versions of The Biggest Loser among their peers and colleagues to lose weight. Or Ugly Betty, being around the day after America won the Golden Globe, or with Jane the Virgin after Gina Rodriguez won the Golden Globe, and seeing the kind of upstep of so many young women who connected with her speech or her emotion and the possibility of what happens. So those moments are the best. Everything else is a big pain in the ass. Managing elements of the talent's needs, managing the network's ambitions and desire to own everything, trying to make money and profit from the hard work you do, but also it's not nearly as much as everyone thinks. So kind of balancing out all of the elements of day-to-day producing, it is a really difficult, stressful thing. And you kind of ride the downs a lot more than you ride the ups. And so it is a very hard job. And if anyone has actually, built anything or, produced anything, now imagine that process that you were doing in your laboratory or in your garage or in your little creative arts studio now has 700 other people weighing into you about what's good, bad, or wrong with that. In the case of me, the pumpkin you're designing.
Yes, an incredible.
Look at this pumpkin.
Ben is making you all look bad for Halloween.
My wife Jennifer did that pumpkin for our boy Meyer, but that pumpkin she got to just do in our kitchen and start beginning, middle, and end. I didn't come in 400 times and ask her to move half the Continental Army soldiers. I didn't ask her to paint the trees yellow because it was more of an environmental flavor. I didn't tell her the pumpkin had to be bigger. I didn't ask her to use the other side of the pumpkin. There were no notes. There was pure joy and a beginning, middle, and end. Producing a television show does not come with that same pure joy. Producing a movie, even less so. It took 11 years to get Manos El Piedro from idea to script to production to financing to distribution, and it's still not out. So there's a lot of hurdles in the process, and a lot of frustrations, and a lot of people dragging you down. But you just got to persevere and see the passion in your belly that got you to believe in it in the first place.
Now, I'm going to guess, Austin Nickel, that is the most passionate and detailed, informative response you have ever received from anyone on Periscope. For those who are just joining, we've got a great crowd here. Invite your followers, like the Periscope puppet, one of the most creative people I've seen on Periscope. Perseverance is big. Thank you, Periscope puppet, for inviting your followers. More people do that. Why? Because this is just an open opportunity to speak with Ben Silverman. Ben Silverman, one of the best known producers in Hollywood. Someone was asking earlier, what have you produced? We're going to go over the list. The Office, Ugly Betty, The Biggest Loser, The Tudors, Mob Wives, Jane the Virgin, Marco Polo, Casanova on Amazon, and the movie Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran.
Date My Mom, MTV. Anyone like a dating show?
By the way, someone was asking who is playing Duran. I believe someone was asking who's playing Duran.
Edgar Ramirez. I don't know if any of you saw Carlos, incredible series produced out of France about Carlos the Jackal, the terrorist, and Edgar was the star of that, an amazing actor, and he's now the star of our film Hands of Stone. And then I just saw Mom Needed a Date. My father, look,
oh my goodness, look at that. We're he's creating Periscope opportunities left, right,
exactly. I love a dating show. I might do Periscope the dating show. It seems like a good idea right now.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah. Biggest Loser. Nice work losing all that weight. Congratulations.
On a related subject, somebody asked what your favorite ice cream is earlier.
I mix it up, and it's funny. My kid went from all vanilla to chocolate in like such a rapid shift, and I didn't think kids would move that quick from one to the other. But I like a lot. I am a big fan of the ice cream sundae. Just a straight ahead, beautiful, fresh, scoop of vanilla with some hot fudge.
All right.
So good. Sorry to go.
There you go.
My favorite character from The Office, it has to be, Michael Scott. There's just nobody funnier than Carell as Michael Scott. He did such a great job in that role. He brought such humanity to it. But it was just straight out funny. Like, if you like the show, from the moment he steps into the Foreman grill and is burning his foot that is like the beginning of some of the great comedy gold that show produced. Still, I know it's my own, but the funniest show around.
Well, you did get some questions from people about like what you're looking for in a script.
Yeah.
You were saying to us earlier that with The Office, I'm faster than 80% of all snakes. Yeah. You were saying The Office was not an easy sell. You got a lot of no's.
The Office, single camera, right? So very different than the way all the shows were when that came out, 12 years ago or 10, maybe 12 years, 10 years ago, around there. And it had no laugh track. None of the shows on broadcast TV had no laugh track. And it was a faux documentary. And the cast was not all beautiful people. It didn't look like a Baywatch or Friends. And so getting that sold was so difficult. We had so many people pass on the show.
What do you think? So let's say whether you're someone who's looking at a script to buy, or when you're trying to get, someone to buy into the idea of a script, what do you think is that magic sauce in Hollywood
Well,
today?
I do think most people don't know the answer to the question they're asking, so that if your passion is contagious enough, they will buy into your passion. Just like the Silicon Valley entrepreneur is almost a messianic figure. They kind of run around preaching their thing, and you don't even want to sit with them at lunch, but then 9 weeks later they have Facebook. I think that there's a similar thing in Hollywood where that passion becomes contagious, and your passion about it and your belief translates to the person who's investing you, and you build momentum with the passion.
Got it. Guys, if you're just joining, invite with your followers. We'll take a couple more questions. You're from Southern California. If you could produce a Star Wars series, what would be your dream cast?
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? I'm psyched about who's in the Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
It seems like they went in a really diverse way, and I think it's a more multicultural version, but we still got Harrison Ford. I mean, there's no better character than Han Solo in the history of movies. So the swashbuckling hero. And to touch the Star Wars gold would be awesome. But that's a great question for another reason. Disney owns Star Wars. So you know who's not going to get to be making the Star Wars show? Me. Because I'm not one of the big mobsters in one of the big companies. I've been working as an independent producer and doing my work independently for big platforms. But the big companies all own a lot of the stuff right now. And there's a lot of really big companies right now. So it's great to have something like Periscope and a guy like John who I can talk to and speak to everybody at once. I like that democratization.
All right, we're going to take a couple more questions, guys. Love in the hearts. Thanks for inviting your followers. Let's get more people in the room. It's not every day you get Ben available to answer your questions. I guess I would ask this. So how do you kind of play the role of the snake, Jane the Virgin spoiler? Probably not.
Can't give you that, but you watch Monday. I mean, it's pretty awesome this year too. I mean, it's really, really good.
But to your point, if I had a gun with 2 bullets in a room, shoot Toby twice, right? But like, how do you?
I'm doing my Periscope comedy hour now.
Yeah, exactly.
Good audition.
Someone was asking about roles.
Well, I know good roles for. Well, one thing that's incredible.
Marco Polo, by the way.
Marco Polo obviously, has a tremendous Asian cast. But I think part of what you're seeing in Korean pop and Korean drama and Korean series translate across Asia, like Korea being a kind of mini Hollywood of Asia and how it's an export market. I think that's going to help push American producers and networks and content creators to have Asian series. I did a show on my YouTube channel, Watch Loud, called K-Town, which you can go check out, which we produced with Tyrese, which was all Korean cast. So I totally believe underrepresented on air, as are most of American society.
Okay. Hello to you. Oh, my goodness. Lizzie Bear is here. All right, so I think we're going to take one final question. Did you see Blue Mountain State?
The series on
and James,
Spike, the one about the frat house on Spike TV.
I guess so. You're also being asked about your favorite singer and why the good shows get canned and the bad ones stay. I guess that depends on your perspective.
Yeah. But I think what you're really saying is the corny ones stay and the classy ones go. And a lot of that is definitely related to corny still works. We all wear the Mickey ears. Come on.
So at the end of the day, you got to be passionate about the projects that you're pushing to actually get them made in a world where, there are some big companies that control much of the traditional distribution. Is that kind of the underlying message?
That's a key one. And another one for the Periscope audience is to do what we're doing now. The new producer is on Periscope, or the new producer is using Apple tools to build content at a much cheaper, rate than we're building our content right now. But then they'll have the shot with that as their resume to go get to the next step.
Awesome having Ben here. You've been asked many times by our friend Ease Peeve about your favorite singer. Hey, Periscope's random. You're in TV, but you've done a lot of, observation of singing talent.
Well, I have grown to like Latin music the same way that I love Latin content, and I am excited about contemporary Latin music, but I always go with Paul and John. I'm a Beatles boy.
There you go. Through. He's a Beatles guy. He gave you his favorite ice cream.
And this morning, it's the weekend.
Yeah, a lot of news about the weekend over the last 24 hours. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you liked what you saw and you want to see Ben back, hit us up on Twitter. It's @ParachuteTV1. Let us know. Send us more questions there. Maybe he'll give us some answers that we can send back to you. And, of course, follow @ParachuteTV1. We do great content all week long. Watch Hands of Stone. Watch for it in theaters when?
This spring.
The Story of Roberta
Jane the Virgin, Monday nights, the works. You know the deal. We won't pitch it out. Really good to see all of you and chat with you.
We're going to end on this amazing pumpkin.
Yeah, the pumpkin.
It's just like, my goodness. Put us all to shame. All right.
Continental Army.